Hey there, RosterWatch Nation. It is your friendly neighborhood Trashman, and this is the Garbage Grab. Today, I'm going to be talking about not my top 5 rookie wide receivers going into fantasy, but my top 10, actually. There were just too many of them for me not to list all of them. And I could have listed more, but I limited myself to 10. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, we have CeeDee Lamb, now of the Dallas Cowboys, formerly of the Oklahoma Sooners. In our eyes, or at least in my eyes, the best receiver in the draft. He led the draft class in yards per target, 15.1 in yards after the catch with 11. Amari Cooper can play the slot some of the time. So you're going to see CeeDee Lamb on the outside. You're going to see him on the inside. You're going to see him all over the field. You're going to see him in the end zone. Lamb, speaking of playing inside, also led the nation in yards per route run from the slot last year. This is the guy who can pretty much do everything on the field. He's powerful. He's not extremely fast, but he runs a 4.5 40. He's somebody similar to like a DeAndre Hopkins. He's going to be able to do everything that you want on the field. So pick him up ASAP in Dynasty, Keeper, and Redraft formats. Bear in mind, this is not necessarily a list in order of the guys that I think you should get, but CeeDee Lamb is actually probably the first guy I would probably pick up. Up next, we have Jeudy of the Broncos. He's a lot of people's number one prospect. I mean, it's arguable whether it would be him or Lamb or Ruggs of the Raiders. I have thought. Anyways, Jeudy is perhaps the best route runner of all the draft class. He's an average athlete, to be honest, but that just speaks more volumes for his route running. The fact that he could get open as much as it, and he could be the number one receiver on arguably the best team in the league. Well, in the FBS, outside of LSU, maybe in Alabama. Anyway, Jeudy is going to be sharing targets with Courtland Sutton and then KJ Hamler, another rookie. I think this bodes really well for Jeudy, the fact that he can play the slot. I think Drew Lock is going to need to dump off the ball quite a bit, and Jeudy is going to help him out with that also. So I think in PPR formats especially, he's going to be valuable. So pick him up in PPR, in Dynasty, in Keeper, and in redraft leagues a little bit later on. Another guy I really like, Michael Pittman of the Colts. He's a prototypical wide receiver, big, long, fast. He's slated to play the X position on the weak side of the line of scrimmage. So this is the guy usually on the offense, the receiver that can beat man coverage, and that it's pretty exceptional that the Colts feel like they can put him as a rookie in the X spot because he'll see a lot of man coverage. He's been compared to Vincent Jackson, and that bodes well for his chances considering that he is going to be playing with Phillip Rivers as his quarterback. Pittman's a big guy, 6'4", 223 pounds, 4'5", 240. I'd say that is nothing to sniff at. I really like Pittman, and I think he's going to do well for the Colts. Could lead them in touchdown receptions. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. Another guy I really like, Jalen Reagor of the Eagles. Lots of opportunity in Philly there for him. Even though they're saying Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson are going to probably be the starters there, who knows how long they will be the starters there. They're both injury prone at this point in their careers. They're both long in the tooth. In any case, the Eagles throw the ball a lot. And Reagor is just an athletic specimen with a 42-inch vertical. He's an explosive, dynamic player. He's going to be able to do a lot downfield. He's going to be able to do a lot after the catch. I really like him in Philadelphia, and you should too. Another guy I like, T. Higgins of the Bengals. He's not, I wouldn't say an exceptional athlete, but he's going to be working with Joe Burrow, rookie quarterback, who's going to be looking to make a name for himself. He's going to be looking to show that he wasn't just a one-year wonder in college. And Higgins will probably start over John Ross. So that bodes well for his chances of doing more damage in fantasy. The Bengals also have a respectable running game and Joe Mixon, so that takes some of the pressure off of the receivers. I don't know that T. Higgins is going to have a offensive rookie of the year type season, but I think he will produce on a regular basis, and that's good to hear from a rookie on a team like the Bengals. Another guy I really like as far as fantasy chances go is Justin Jefferson of the Vikings. He benefits from where he landed in the draft in Minnesota because it's basically going to be him and Adam Thielen and who else really. Jefferson is just solid all around. He's a good route runner. He's got steady hands. In fact, he's one of the better route runners in the draft. So I really like that about him. He's very similar, actually, to Adam Thielen for me in the way that they play the game. I just think he's going to get a lot of targets. I think he's going to be really valuable in PPR formats. And although, like I said, he isn't as athletic, isn't as an exceptional player on the field as some of these other guys, just the fact that he's going to be the starter in Minnesota opposite Adam Thielen makes him, I think, probably one of the top 4 picks that you can make for a wide receiver rookie. And he's going to be valuable in redrafts, which is a really good thing because some of these guys are going to take a little bit longer to develop. They're going to take a year or two before they're actually valuable in redraft leagues. I don't think that will be the case with Justin Jefferson. Also, somebody I like, Henry Ruggs of the Raiders. He's an incredible athlete. I know a lot of people thought, and reasonably so, that CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy should have gone in front of him in the draft. But I mean, the guy has 4.27 speed, and if you just watch the video of his basketball highlights in high school, seeing a guy who's 5'11", just dunk on people left and right, it's pretty impressive. His 13.5 yards per target still ranked as the second best mark in this year's draft class. He's got little competition on the field in the wide receiver core. I know that they added Nelson Agholor, but we've seen what Nelson Agholor can do. And as of right now, it's not much, and it's in stints when it is. The one downside I see for Henry Ruggs is that his quarterback is Derek Carr, and Derek Carr doesn't like to throw deep because he's not that accurate deep. He was actually 30th in the league in quarterbacks as far as average yards per throw. So that's the one thing I don't like about Ruggs' situation. It is enheartening to realize that he can do a lot after the catch. You can throw it to him short, and he can make plays. So that's helpful. But it's one of the reasons why I don't like him quite as much in fantasy as some of these other guys. Somebody I do really like in fantasy is Denzel Mims of the Jets. Mims was actually right neck and neck for me with CeeDee Lamb as far as my favorite receiver in the draft out of Baylor. He's athletic and dynamic downfield. It's a pleasure to watch his highlight reel. If you haven't seen it, go and find it on YouTube right now. Get your popcorn. He's got a jaw-dropping 40 time, 4.38, especially for someone who's his size. He's like 6'3", I believe. He had a position best three cone drill, 6.66 seconds. It's kind of spooky. And a sky-high vertical, 38.5 inches. He did all this at the NFL Combine. He'll be opposite Rashad Perriman. And, Perriman did come on last year for the Buccaneers, but he's been a slow burn since he's come to the NFL. I don't really see him as a number one receiver. Jamison Crowder will be in the middle. He'll probably get more catches than Mims, but I don't think he can do what Mims can do with the ball in his hands. Denzel Mims to me is the new Robbie Anderson, but he's more powerful and he's more dynamic than Anderson, in my opinion. So he's somebody I really like in fantasy, and he's going to be somebody you can get a little bit later than some of these other guys. The next guy I'm going to talk about, actually, to me, he might be my dark horse candidate for leading rookie receivers in fantasy points, and that's Chase Claypool of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he might have the best season of them all. He's just a really impressive size speed combo. He's like a really fast tight end. Think Martavis Bryant with the Steelers. Although Martavis Bryant was, quite a bit faster. I think he ran like a 4.27 40. Claypool runs a 4.4 240, but Martavis wasn't as big or powerful as Claypool. I think Claypool is going to be the red zone target for the primary red zone target in the air for the Steelers. Like I said, he's got a 4.4 240. He's got a 40.5-inch vertical. Just Big Ben's just going to be able to throw it up to him in the end zone. I think he's going to score a lot of touchdowns. I think maybe he won't be quite as valuable in PPR formats, but I think he's going to be a really good value pick for you. And then the last guy I'm going to talk about in my top 10 rookie receivers for fantasy list is Brandon Ayuk of the San Francisco 49ers. He's got a massive, massive wingspan for his height. I think he's 5'11", if I'm remembering correctly, and he has a 33.5 wingspan, or arm span rather. Chase Claypool is over 3 inches taller, and his arms are 32 inches. So just think about that. He's got kind of these stretch arm, strong arms, Ayuk does. What I really like about Ayuk is that he's an after the catch specialist. He's a guy that, can catch the ball short and then make long plays out of it. And the downside there, too, is that he's more an improviser than he is a route runner. He's not really a sharp route runner. He's actually pretty sharp, but he did not have an extensive route tree in college. But with a guy who's a playmaker like him, you don't necessarily need to. He's a guy that Jimmy Garoppolo, somebody who maybe isn't that accurate downfield, can dump the ball off to or throw over the middle, and he's going to be able to do a lot with it. So I really like his chances in fantasy and in PPR formats especially. Anyways, those are my top 10 rookie receivers for fantasy as I have it right now. This is the Trashman on behalf of RosterWatch.com. If you like what you've been hearing, if you like what you've heard from Roster Watch so far, give us a follow, and also give us a comment in the comment section. Our robot overlords would really appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. So give us some love, if you will. If you could, be generous with us, and we'll be generous, just as generous with you. Anyways, that's all I got for you right now. Until next time, be ready.